Marjorie Taylor Greene is madder than a hornet. Play the clip.
What, 6 months in, Steve, and here we are turning back on the campaign promises, and we bombed Iran on behalf of Israel. Yes, it was on behalf of Israel. We're entering a nuclear war, the World War III, because the entire world is going to erupt. And you want to know the people that are cheering it on right now? Their tune is going to drastically change the minute we start seeing flag draped coffins on the nightly news, on Fox News that brainwashes all the baby boomers, and on CNN that brainwashes all the Democrat baby boomers. And that is exactly how this is going to go down.
Fox News is brainwashing all the baby boomers, and CNN is brainwashing all the Democrat baby boomers. She is madder than a hornet. And I saw she's constantly now going around having to tell everybody, I am not in a cult. And I think this is growth on her part, because the first stage of the grieving cycle is denial.
Right.
And so the fact that she's even acknowledging the cult accusations and denying it, she's entered the grieving cycle. We're at step one. And, you know, sometimes the griever bounces around, but I think they're slowly starting to realize that Donald Trump is full of shit. And listen, I mean, old habits die hard.
Oh, yeah.
And this is going to be, it's really hard for these people to quit Trump. I mean, there's just something about him that gets their juices flowing. But this is even more hilarious, Pumps. Here she is talking to a journalist on speakerphone, and she has somebody in her office recording the interview. Play the clip.
So, yeah, I think the question has been, there's been, you know, for a long time, you've been Trump's, you know, most outspoken ally in Congress. It feels like over the past couple weeks, you've shown a willingness to break with him, and I'm wondering just what's behind that.
I have always been President Trump's most outspoken ally. I defended the president when people that are serving in his administration were donating to Democrats and even running against him for president, and nothing has changed now. I think that it's really important. I can't underscore that enough. I ran on the exact same platform that President Trump ran on. I got elected for the exact same policies and campaign promises that President Trump got elected on. There is no break. There is no split. There is no lack of support from me to President Trump. And so this would be a narrative or a lie that you're creating or someone's asking you to create. And I will not tolerate it one single bit.
Got it. Was there any, how did it come about? There was some reporting, I think, early on that they asked you not to run for Senate, or his political team asked you not to run for Senate. Is that any truth to that?
No, I was not asked to not run for Senate. And those were fake polls that were put up against me. And so I reject those polls, and my decision to not run for Senate, I explained in a very lengthy post that you can go read on my X account, that is my personal account, and that I also use for my campaign. And none of that anywhere in my explanation or my decision making had anything to do with what you just mentioned.
Got it.
So I just want you to know how I am perceiving your interview here is more of an attack piece on me. And I don't know who is putting you up to it, and I don't know why you're writing it, but I think it's absolute bullshit. And I'm going to completely reject it. And I just want you to know, I'm warning you right now. You are going to be spreading lies about me. You're putting out a complete narrative about me that is not true. And I'm warning you not to do this.
I was just back to Iran for a second. I'm just wondering, do you think things are going in the right direction for the White House on this decision? Do you think it's going to prove they're going to prove themselves having made the right decision, or not?
I know President Trump very well. He does not want to be involved in forever foreign wars. He doesn't want boots on the ground. He doesn't want to.
Okay. All right. So I think this is just hilarious, because what she says, I don't know who's putting you up to this. I don't know where this is coming from. This is a common theme among MAGA. They cannot understand that somebody has their own autonomy, thought autonomy, and can come up with their own questions that were born out of critical thinking and curiosity and deduction skills. So it's always like, I notice if somebody doesn't like us in our comment section, it's, oh, they're getting paid by Soros.
Right.
Or who's putting you up to this? The DNC is putting them up to this, because it's such a tell when Republican politicians say something like that, because they cannot understand critical thinking. I mean, her whole thing is, I ran exactly the same way Donald Trump did. We ran on the exact same policies. And here she is, she's like, bud, we were in lockstep. I thought we were no wars. What the fuck? You went and bombed, Iran for Benjamin Netanyahu. And she feels very betrayed because they had the exact same talking points.
Well, they're both fueled by cruelty, hate, and wanting to dehumanize people that don't have the same color skin that they do. But her denying that after her interview with Steve Bannon, and then what she's putting on her Twitter/X account about how wrong it is, America first, all that, reminds me of when she gets on the internet and she spews QAnon theories, one right after the other. Then you ask her about it. She's like, I never said that. These people act like we are so stupid that we can't go back and actually see what they have previously said. They never say, I've changed my position, I've evolved. It's just an immediate, I never said that. You must be lying. Fake news, all that shit. Poor Marge. I think her little heart's broken.
All right. And then next up, we have Ted Cruz put this tweet out yesterday, and he is still the most unfuckable person, unlikable person. Even Tucker Carlson hates him. But he puts out this tweet, and it says, Clarence Thomas is a fearless, happy warrior. He is a patriot of the highest caliber, an intellectual giant, and one of America's fiercest defenders of the Constitution. Wishing him all the best on his 77th birthday. Clarence Thomas is the biggest dipshit, compromised, right-wing conspiracy theorist on the Supreme Court. It's literally like having a QAnon Supreme Court justice. That's what Clarence Thomas is. And he attaches this video of Clarence Thomas to that birthday tweet. Play the video.
You can be in the middle of a hurricane, or you can be on a calm day. North is still north. You could be in a thunderstorm. North is still north. People can yell at you. North is still north. It doesn't change fundamental things. And in this business, right is still right, even if you stand by yourself.
Okay, so I just want to point out that Ted Cruz likes to make the argument that Clarence Thomas is some intellectual giant. And then that's his statement that he attaches to it, which is neither intellectual nor that thought-provoking. But Clarence Thomas has been a huge participant in the erosion of civil liberties, the erosion of democracy, the erosion of rights for people that share the same color of skin that he does. Clarence Thomas is the ultimate token for rich, white, racist men. And the only purpose that he has served in the Supreme Court is to assuage the deep-seated racism and hatred that so many country club Republicans have towards Black people. That is the only role he has played. And Ted Cruz, to trot this out in the middle of all of this, just shows you how lost at sea he is after this Tucker Carlson issue. But before we go further, please support our show by supporting our sponsors. You guys, it's summer, it's so hot, and Pumps and I have been able to kind of revamp our wardrobe by using Quince. They have the best items. I got these washable silk camis. They're great with a pair of jeans. They're great with a blazer. And the thing I love about Quince is everything is like 80% less than other brands, but it doesn't compromise the quality.
I love their European shorts and dresses, and they start at like $30, and they're wash and wear, so it's great for packing. I absolutely love those.
Listener, give your summer closet an upgrade with Quince. Go to quince.com/IHIP news for free shipping on your order and 365-day returns. That's QUINCE.com/IHIP news. That's IHIP NEWS, to get free shipping and 365-day returns. Quince.com/IHIP News. Humps, what's your take on Ted Cruz and Clarence Thomas?
Well, I think Ted Cruz is so mortally wounded by the Tucker Carlson. I mean, he just doesn't. And, Trump has put him into political asylum. And I look at Clarence Thomas as an attorney, he has everything that the Supreme Court should not be. He has no ethics. He has no morals. He is bought and paid for by Harlan Crow. He refuses to stand up for the rights guaranteed to people.
And Harlan Crow's a Nazi.
That's right.
He collects real Nazi china and Nazi memorabilia from World War II. Like, he has a whole collection of it that he shows people when he brings them over to his house in Dallas. And he's the biggest funder of this Clarence Thomas.
Absolutely. And Clarence Thomas looks at the Constitution, and unless it's about guns or money, he tears it up and throws it away. He has absolutely no intention of enforcing the laws in the Constitution regarding due process, regarding citizenship. This man is an abomination. He is everything they told us in law school that was the worst of a jurist, and he is there. And it surprises me zero that Ted Cruz is such a big fan.
I agree. Okay. And then something's going on with Tucker Carlson still. He's really going through some things, and it's been really fascinating to watch. And here is Tucker very accurately describing Laura Loomer, and no one is as shocked as I. Please play.
Levin, again, doesn't care about the United States, and they're all wearing the Trump skin suit right now because they think it suits their purposes. These are people who hated Trump. They're anti-Trump. They're never Trump. And that would include a lot of people on Fox News who I worked with for 15 years. I know what their political views are. They're my colleagues. They hate Trump. They hate him personally. They hate his agenda. They hate his economic views. And they really hate his foreign policy views, which in private they describe as insane and isolationist. He's a Nazi and all this stuff. I mean, they really have contempt for him. They kept him off the air at Fox News while I was there against my protests. So that's all true. And it's very frustrating as a literal person who cares about what's true to see people jumping up Mark Levin or Laura Loomer, that's world's creepiest human. I don't even know where she came from or who she is exactly, but she's running around. I'm Donald Trump's, defender. It's bizarre. Champion. And I'm the arbiter of what it means to be for America. Someone who, again, has no interest in the United States, demonstrated no interest. So I think it's just important. It's not a matter of score settling, and I don't care what Mark Levin does in his private life. I don't care what his opinions are. And Laura Loomer, I'm not even really sure who she is. However, if people like that are able to take over a political movement whose stated goal is to serve the United States, first and foremost, America first, make America great again, if those people can take control of that political movement, first of all, it's an offense against reality and truth. But second, it's really dangerous for the country. I mean, they washed out of the Democratic Party, the same people, and now they're trying to take over the Republican Party. How about no? Unbroken track record of failure, unbroken track record of ideas that hurt the United States in measurable ways, impoverished the United States, put us in unpayable debt, killed a ton of people, destabilized the world, caused a refugee crisis in Europe, destroyed Europe. That's a lot of destruction for one group of people and one set of really bad ideas, the John Boltons, the Bill Kristols. Can they be allowed to?
So this is interesting. He's going after the neocons, which I can join him in going after the neocons and the destruction that the neoconservative movement, starting with Reagan and ending with George W. Bush, produced, and the debris field that it left in the country and on the global stage. But it's interesting that he is demeaning the epicenter of Trump support right now, and in a very tiptoe way, calling out the duplicity of the Laura Loomers, of the Mark Levin, and how they just jump into the Trump arena, and he said his words, put on Trump's skin, and then they can just advise the president. And the one thing he left out here is something that we talk about all the time, is that that's a really easy thing to do because Trump falls prey to superficial flattery. It's a very easy thing to do, and it's very dangerous. And Tucker's almost there, but he's too compromised by Vladimir Putin. Tucker is. But this is exactly what Vladimir Putin, if somebody who named Laura Loomer can do this, who nobody knows who she really even is, just because she goes hard in the paint on low T Twitter, and and everybody just thinks, oh well, boy, she's a ferocious defender of Trump. Then if she can do it, think about how simple it is for Vladimir Putin and for Viktor Orban and for Benjamin Netanyahu. And again, the lead that seems to be buried here is that you have a person who's behaving as a dictator. That's Benjamin Netanyahu. A person that is a dictator, that's Vladimir Putin. Another person that's behaving and almost a dictator, and that's Donald Trump. And so I always want to say that all of the people of all of these countries, at least the people I hang out with in the United States, fucking hate Donald Trump. The Jewish people that I know are mortified by Benjamin Netanyahu. I don't really know that many Russians, but I would assume some are propagandized and some think Putin is a nut and were followers of Navalny, before Putin had him killed. But this is really an interesting thing that's happening in the MAGA movement, this unraveling 5 months in, that you're starting to see somebody right in the heart of it that has millions and millions of subs starting to talk about how easy it is to manipulate Trump and the executive branch.
Well, and I just have to point out, Tucker Carlson is one of those people that hates Trump because we saw his text messages during the Dominion lawsuit. And the only thing I would say is we're all, who's Laura Loomer, da-da-da-da-da. Fact of the matter is Laura Loomer has been put on a cycle twice by her father. And she has access to the president of the United States. So we can talk about what a nut she is and what a nut all these people that Trump surrounds himself with, but he's the president of the United States. He not only allows it, he goes after it because they tell him what he wants to hear. So like you said, when you have real strong men that have cunning and intellectual thought and can see past the nose on their face, which Trump cannot. He is a puppet. He is a puppet for a Laura Loomer type, and he is a puppet for dictators. And these MAGAs, they are just the absolute easiest. The only thing easier to manipulate than Donald Trump are Trump's followers.
It's going to be interesting to see if these people that have made millions of dollars piggybacking onto Trumpism, the Steve Bannons, the Tucker Carlsons, and they know what they're saying is bullshit. The Rupert Murdochs, they know it's all bullshit propaganda. They know that they're preying on the evangelical, hyper-religious, magical thinking rubes. They know it. It's going to be interesting to see, because you're starting to see it a little bit, if they will start to build a resistance, because they don't survive. Their business model doesn't survive if this continues to go forward, because the oligarchs will take it, and Trump will take it, and whoever Trump's successor is will take it. And so the whole free market idea and all of that doesn't live in dictatorships or autocracies. So it's going to be interesting with, the points that you made, which I totally forgot about. Tucker Carlson's, everybody at Fox even hates him. And so it's going to be interesting if they because it seems like they're slowly starting, particularly Tucker and Steve Bannon even, they're slowly starting to remind the cultists that they have in their following that Trump is going off script. And it'll be interesting to see how far they take their criticism. But I've been kind of shocked by Tucker's thus far. But anyway, all right, that's all we have for this episode, and we'll see you all later.